Yeah, so we're gonna do 5-mans. We're gonna do 5-mans here, or 6-mans. We're gonna do groups. We're gonna do group versus group, not large scale. Group versus group. That is where this tier list is coming from, not 40v40s, 50v50s. Okay, group v group. That's what this is, because otherwise things move around a lot. All right, Alpha Warrior, S tier, 100%, 100% S tier. Reason being, 5k neck breakers, ridiculous. Hits 5 people in an AoE around you of 6 meters. It's fucking dumb. Arbiter, S tier as well. Arbiter's in a really good spot right now. You run a stake Arbiter with We1. Your heals are nutty. You have lots of good debuffs, and you got a couple CC. Solid class right now. Solid healer. Archdruid, D. I'm sorry. Listen, Archdruid takes too much to be good at. It takes too much to be good at. It's too difficult to perform well at consistently. And in a 5-6 man group, you have more of an advantage, but still, it's just not worth. Archer, this is gonna break my fucking heart. Oh, it's not the personal list, Dilbo. It's not the personal list, Dilbo. Okay, it's a B. Fuck! Archers are B. It is a B though. It is a B. It makes me sad. And the reason being is that range that it has. We might change Archer to an A. We'll see. We have to place the other stuff. We might change Archer to an A. But Archer's really good because of its range, right? I personally play a Wood Elf Archer because I like to fucking literally keep people at max range the entire time. Crit dodge is not a meme. It's great. The problem is with Archer right now is why go Archer when you could go Warden, right? That is literally the reason. It's like, why go Archer when I could go Warden, right? Archmage, high CB for sure. I think Archmage is a little bit of a difficult spot because of it has like really bad escapability. You can go Fae to help improve that, but if you get targeted, you're kind of fucked. I don't think it's an A. I don't think it's an A at all. I definitely think it's a B. It's not as good as it once was. And if you get targeted, you're fucked. Barbarian, I'm gonna have to say A. I would say S tier, but the thing about barbarians is they can be interchanged with a conqueror. If it was solo, I would put them in S tier, but they're not. We'll order the tiers as well, as far as I think Arbiter is better than Alpha Warrior. So we'll order the tiers as well, as far as like what's good in the tiers. We'll do that too. Battle Rager, I think is a B as well. I think it's better than Archmage though. I don't think it's better than an Archer. I think Battle Rager is definitely solid. It almost could be an A though. This is hard. I think Battle Rager is an A, not a B. I do think Battle Rager. Blackguard, well, we know it counters Wardens, right? So it's an S tier. That's what the dev said. That Blackguard counters Wardens. Brigand, I'm gonna put C just because it has stealth. It's not a D in my opinion, and it's better than a Blackguard because Blackguard's if I put Brigand on C, I feel like I have to put Blackguard on C. No, for fives, Brigand's D. For fives, Brigand's D. No, it's shit. No point. For fives, Brigand's D for sure. We'll put that there and we'll put that there like that. Conqueror is a B, I think, for sure. Let me think. Yep. Crusader, I'm gonna say is an A. I think Crusader is definitely a solid healer. It's not as good as Arbiter right now. Arbiter is kind of nutty, but I think it's in high A. I think it's higher than Battle Rager. Might be higher than Barbarian. I feel like these two are like right next to each other basically. The thing about AD and the reason it's in D is because it's not consistent. All of these classes up here are consistent, right? They're all consistent. You can know what to expect. Archers, they're not consistent. Cutthroat, I'm gonna put in C. I feel like if you can get a cutthroat, a good cutthroat, a snowy level cutthroat on like a backline, on a squishy in a group, you can fuck them up for sure. S tier is like when I'm saying S tier, I'm saying you need this. Like when you're going out in your 5-6 man, you will have this in your, that's what S tier means. Like you have to have it. Like you're an idiot if you don't have it. That's what S tier means. I think Cutthroat could work in a 5s. I do, especially if you're in an all stealth 5s. Dirge, we're not gonna fucking talk about it. Dirge. Earthkeeper, I'm gonna say a C. I want Earthkeeper to be higher up, but the problem with Earthkeeper is if you get focused, even if you're on a Wood Elf, you're gonna get shit on if your team doesn't help you at all. And basically every time you're in a fight, if you're being focused on an Earthkeeper, your entire team, their entire job is now just protecting you rather than doing damage. You're hurting your team more in a way if the people that you're fighting are skilled. If they're not, they're gonna leave you alone and you're just gonna out heal everything. What about Dirge? We are not talking about it. Dirge is garbage. We're not gonna talk about Dirge. Fnatic, I'm gonna say A tier. I think Fnatic's better than Archmage for sure, and is better than Archer for sure. It has higher DPS output than both Archmage and Archer. Higher consistent DPS output. This tier list is for like the normal 5s. We're not talking about stealth comp 5s. If we're talking about stealth comp 5s, if you ran 2 Vandals, fucking 2 Crusader guinea pigs, and a fucking Blackguard, or a fucking and a Cutthroat, you would fucking destroy everything. Last time we had a wipe was 6.4, and on 6.4 we basically needed the not exactly 7 days. I mean like the weekend. Like, so Tuesday, I mean like the weekend, really. That's what I mean by that. Not exactly 7 days. Because like 6.4, when that came out, that was the last wipe we had. And it was about 5 days after that when we were like, okay, we need a dregs now. Because we got capped on progression. But you also gotta think, that's top tier people. They're probably going to keep into account all the noobs. And they're not going to be moving as fast as us, as people that have been playing this game for a long time. So I guess we'll figure it out. Frostguard, I'm gonna say is a C. Frostguards I've seen been playing really well. I don't think they're consistently good enough to be, or I'm sorry, not C, a B. I don't think they're consistently good enough to be able to be an A. But if you're a solid player, you can definitely make Frostguards work. Their CC is fucking obnoxious. If you combine a Barbarian and a Frostguard, you're on the ground the entire fucking fight. I'm saying 6.4. The consensus when I was streaming the game every day, the consensus was about 5 days after 6.4's wipe was when we needed dregs. That's when everybody started being like, okay, we need a dregs now. Like that's when that happened. So Fury, I'm gonna say is C tier. Fury, yeah. I know there's like a music Fury going around that people are busting a nut over. I don't think it's there. Fury's D tier. I don't think it's D tier. I don't think it's Archer, Brigand, Blackguard, Dirge. I think it's still useful. Icecaller, C tier as well. Icecaller kind of falls off in small scale. Large scale does a lot better. Small scale, it's not as good, in my opinion. Inquisitor is A tier for sure. I don't think it's S tier. It's fucking damn close to S tier though. I think it's like that. Yep. I think it's like that. Inquisitor is definitely good, but I don't think it's S tier. Pally is solid B. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think Paladin, especially if you're doing a dive comp or a comp where you're running, especially if you're running dual Pallies and you're alternating free actions, I think it's definitely good if you're coordinated. Yeah, I can agree with that. Pit Fighter, I think is, I almost want to put a D tier, but we'll put a C. The reason Pit Fighter, I think, falls off in Small Man a lot is because it's just a walking meat shield. For harvesters that want to escape ganks, I would probably go an assassin or a duelist. So you have the ultimate that puts you in stealth. Yeah, most dot oriented, Warden. Warden applies a lot of dots, and then the Myrmidons. So like Battle Rager would apply a lot of dots too. I don't know. I guess technically assassins do too. They're just they're single target dots. You know, Wardens you can hit dots in AOEs, and so you can also do the same with like Battle Ragers. Icecaller in small scale? No way. In small scale, 5v5, 6v6s. Radical. This one hurts me, chat. As you all know, I am the best radical in the world. Have been, always will be. Ever since they fucking gutted its ultimate and gutted its survivability. This hurts, dude. I'm gonna have to put it C tier. I'm gonna have to put it C tier. Oh yeah, I was talking about Pit Fighter. Pit Fighter, because if you just ignore Pit Fighter, it doesn't matter. If you just ignore them, that's why they're C. Fuck! I don't want to put Radical C tier, but I'm gonna have to. Sanctifier, I'm gonna put B tier. I think Sanctifier has good AoE damage in small scale. They're a little bit hard to, they're a little bit hard to play. They can definitely get focused down, but I think they're good enough to be able to be a B for sure. They're not better than an Archer or an Archmaid though, in my opinion. But I think they're better than Earthkeeper, Cutthroat, Fury, Icecaller, Radical, and Pit. God, fucking, I gotta put Radical up here, dude. I can't leave Radical in C tier. I can't. Radical's better than a Sanctifier, 100%. Secular, okay. So Secular, if you build it a specific way, I feel like it would be good. And if you do it comp, like if you comp, same with like others, like same with like the stealth classes, right? Problem is Secular, you have to lean onto your comp really hard. And we're talking about a generalized 5v5, 6v6 roaming group right now. If you were going a bomb group and fucking running 3 secs and just fucking blowing motherfuckers up, sure. But that's not what we're doing here. I'm gonna have to put it C tier. I don't think it's as bad as Archdruid. No, yeah, I don't think it's as bad as these. I'm gonna have to put it C tier. Sentinel, I think it's kind of the same as a Secular. Maybe like there's just no, in my opinion, there's just no reason to go a Sentinel when you could go a Conqueror. I just like, why play a fucking Sentinel when you could play a Conqueror, in my opinion. Slayer, I think Slayer is better than Dirge, but it's still garbage. So D tier. Stormcaller, I think is A tier for sure. I definitely think it's up there. It's up there with, I think it's better than, it's right there. It's literally right there. That's exactly where it should be. Storm Poopy small group. All right, we'll put it B tier since you guys are yelling at me so much. We'll put it B tier. Trade Arb for a Crusader? No way, dude. Arb is literally the best right now. Swordsman, I think Swordsman's in a really rough spot, dude. I think Swordsman's in a really rough spot right now. I do think it's like almost B tier, but it's not, dude. It's C tier. Titan, I think in 5s Titan's better. In large scale it's worse. I think Titan can be a B. I think a good Titan can be an A. Like I'm an A, right? If I play Titan, I'm on an A. But I think a good Titan's a B. A great Titan's an A. Titan's an A. You're validating me? Is everybody validating me that I want to put Titan in A? Because I will. I just knew if I was going to do that, people were going to give me fucking shit. I'm so down to put that Titan at A. If Alpha's an S. All right, Titan's an A. Fuck yeah, I'm down. Vandal, I think is a high C for one reason. It can just stam block motherfuckers. It's the same reason that Cutthroat is a C. If you're playing good, you can like kind of basically take one person out of the entire fight. If you're good, but it drops off fucking hard in large scale. Now, if you're running like an entire group of Vandals, Cutthroats, and sneaky healers, you're gonna smack motherfuckers. Vanguard Scout, I'm gonna say, I mean, if you run a whole team of Vanguard Scouts, it could be a C, but that's not a normal 6v6, so I'm gonna put it on D. Vindicator, I think is an A. I think Vindicator is pretty solid, and then Warden's S tier. You could put Crusader and Barbarian in S tier if you wanted to. S tier means if you're going out in a 5 or 6s, you have it with you. You 100% will, right? That's what S tier means. Yeah, it's not, a Vindicator isn't you have to have it. S is like, you have to have it, right? A is great to have. B is if good player can make work. C is situational. D is darn bad, not good. let's start at the opposite direction. Let's go the opposite direction. So this is for 30s. This is going to be quicker because we already kind of talked about individual things. I still think Warden is up there for sure. Vindicator, I think, gets a little bit harder to do in larger scale. Vanguard Scout's trash. Vandal's trash. Titan's a C. Swordsman is still basically a fucking trash. Stormcaller is A. Slayer's trash. Sentinel's trash. Secular's C. Sanctifier is B still. Radical's C. Pit Fighter goes up to B because you can absorb a lot more damage, when in small scale they can just be dodged. Paladin goes up to A. Inquisitor goes up to S. Ice Caller goes up to B. Fury C. Frost Guard is still B, I think. Fanatic's still an A. Earthcapper is a D. Urge is D. Cutthroat's D. Crusaders S. Conqueror is B. Brigands. Battle Rager is B tier. Barbarians A tier. Archmage is probably still B tier. Archer, I want to say, goes up in large scale because they're going to be harder to pay attention to because of the range. Smaller scale, they can be focused more or like paid attention to more. Archers in larger scale can put out way more deeps in general. Archdruid is no. Arbiter's S. Alpha Warrior's S. I didn't want to sit here and do an entire like fucking talk about all of it. We can argue. Yeah, I'll do that. Switch Archer and Frostguard, I can do that. Who are your initiators in Grover vs. Guild? Your Alpha, Barbs, Pallies, anything with like a leap and can get in the fucking shit. Battle Ragers, Pities, right? All the champion subclasses. Battle Ragers, Conquerors. I think if you go Arb on a horse, which I don't necessarily think you should do, but if you go Arb on a horse, you can get in there. Crusader on a horse, you can get in there. Archer belongs in A. I agree. Explain why Vindy's less good in big stuff. One of the strengths that Vindicator has is being able to, you know, put out a lot of damage, right? And it being in a larger scale fight, your healers have the possibility of losing you way easier than it would in a small scale, right? Vindicators are extremely squishy, in my opinion, in a way, right? Like if you get targeted, even though you have that parry, you're going to go down pretty quickly. And healers are going to possibly lose you in the larger fights, and you have to be on the front line to be able to do the deeps that you need to be able to put out. You could guard backline, but then you're kind of wasting your potential. That's why Vindicator goes down from A to B. I personally love playing Earthkeeper. Earthkeeper in large scale drops fucking hard because you can't large scale. The problem is you'll be putting down all of your orbs, which are your big healings, right? And people that you don't want to pick up your orbs will pick up your orbs. And then you're healing people that don't need to be healed, right? And in small scale, the reason I put it where it is, I was going on the average player, not a great player, the average player, right? An average player is not going to be able to effectively play an Earthkeeper at a level that will warrant it any higher than a C in small scale, because as soon as an Earthkeeper gets focused, it's fucking dead, and everybody on your team now has to focus and worry about keeping you alive rather than you keeping them alive. Oh, where did I put Ice? Oh, I put Ice Caller in B. I think Ice Caller's an A. I think Ice Caller's an A. I did that one too quick. What is lowest A tier? Archer. 100% Archer. How is the healing output compared to a Crusader? Like 80-60? No. I think it's like, no. I think a Crusader in general it puts out more healing overall. It's very fucking similar though. It's not like I'm not talking about like 50% more. I'm talking about maybe like 10%, right? Arbiter just has more that it can utilize than a Crusader, but they're both S tier in large scale. 100%. That's my tier list. YouTube, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DilboDavgans. I'm probably streaming right now as you're watching this on YouTube. So come over, hit the follow button over on Twitch, and come hang out. Watch me kill a bunch of motherfuckers.